Hello everyone, welcome to English class with Sekubi. In my previous video, I have shared on the importance of pronunciation. In learning English, pronunciation is important. However, the process of learning the language is not that straightforward. In order to be good in the language, we have to practice, practice, and practice. Let me make something very clear first. My English is far from perfect. I am not perfect. It is flawed in so many ways. However, as an English teacher, I am expected to have an excellent command of English. I need to be good in many senses of the English language. I need to be good with my pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. As so, I keep on trying to improve my language skill. As an English teacher, we are perceived as the role model of the language. However, as much as that is true, bear in mind we are not native speakers. We are bound to make mistakes as well. But what makes us different is that we always learn from our mistake. So should you. One of the reasons why our pupils, our students, or even adult learners are afraid to speak English in public is that they are afraid of being judged by others. Some people love to belittle or to ridicule or to mock people who are trying to speak in English. To be honest, I do have that fear as well. I often feel inferior whenever I want to speak in English, as I feel there are so many judgmental eyes around me prying and waiting for me to blunder. However, as time passes, I realize that this will not make me to go anywhere. So I decided to abandon these judgmental people and go on with my life. After all, these toxic people are unavoidable. However, we have to remember that there are also plenty of people who are supportive. So we have to surround ourselves with these people and absorb their positive aura to help us to use the language better. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. The best way to learn, believe it or not, is from making mistakes. We have to bear in mind that English is not our first language. That being said, it is okay to make mistakes here and there. It is okay if we mispronounce some words or have a slip in grammar and vocabulary. What's important is that we learn from that mistake. Obviously, mistakes are inevitable in the process of language learning. We need to take risks, fail, see our mistakes, and try again to learn anything new. What lurks from behind students' poor contribution in conversation classes is probably the fear of being wrong, making mistakes, and losing face in front of their peers. Remember, practice makes perfect. Nevertheless, when we are doing an actual presentation, a formal speech or lecture, we have to try to reduce our errors to the very minimum. In doing so, we need to practice first before we do our presentation, speech or lecture. However, if there are still a bit of small mistakes here and there, like mispronunciation or wrong usage of tenses, don't worry. If it happened, it happens. At least we have practiced beforehand. If this happened, it is not a free pass for people out there to condemn or degrade those who are using the language. If you are a good English speaker, work as a DJ in a famous English radio station for example, or use English in your everyday communication, or simply prefer to use more of the language than your own mother tongue, then it's okay. There is no harm in that. However, when you start to belittle or to ridicule or to mock people who are trying to speak the language, then that is not okay. If this continues to happen, I'm afraid that we will soon have a generation who will refuse, avoid, and be reluctant to speak or use English at all in the future. Instead, when we hear our friends or people trying to speak English, we support them. Let's help these people to speak better English. It's okay if we speak in Roja, if we combine Bahasa Melayu and Bahasa English here and there, as long as they are able to try to speak in English. Again, remember, practice makes perfect. So, how do we correct speaking mistakes and not discourage people from opening their mouth? The first way of doing it, well, is by not correcting them. Do not correct, ignore the mistakes, at least for the time being. When someone is giving a speech or speaks spontaneously in pairs, immediate correction will intimidate them, make them lose the train of thought, and simply discourage them from participating in the conversation. Ignore the mistake for the sake of fluency and communication dynamics. Leave your comments till the end of the conversation. We can also encourage people to self-correct. Do not correct on the spot. Instead of giving them ready answers, give them a chance to think and self-correct. They will probably realize and correct their own mistake. If you encourage them to self-correct, you develop their autonomy and raise language awareness and responsibility for the level of their English. This will foster their ability to manage a conversation without the need to lean to others. Some mistakes are hilarious. Share them with your friends trying to learn English. Help to see the humor of the situation. When you correct their mistake, bear the following in mind. Offer constructive criticism. Don't be all negative about mistakes when we discuss performance. Start with a positive comment. For instance, you have used a lot of sophisticated vocabulary and advanced grammar structures, but show them you appreciate their effort and contribution. Next, be sympathetic. When you comment on mistakes, use a tone of voice and body language that helps them accept criticism. Give them support with encouraging words such as "good job" or simply a smile. I think the most important thing when we want to try to correct mistakes by others is by being subtle. When you comment on people's errors, avoid using their names. Do not use negative, straightforward feedback words such as wrong or bad grammar, as they are intimidating. I think that covers our discussion for today. Thank you very much for listening to the very last bit of the video. Remember, practice makes perfect. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It is simply just a part of the learning process. Before we end this video, if you find this to be useful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, English Class with Sekubi, and please share this with your friends as well so that they can listen and learn together with us. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.